Alright, so Utah, you have a corruption problem. Let's just jump straight to this Sheriff Jared Rigby. I've had a run-in with him a couple times, and I basically told him he was wrong and I was right, and I was right. Okay, so he has tried to ask me to leave to go collect signatures or whatnot at a U.S. post office. I don't think it was an accident he told me to do that. I think it was deliberate. If you look at poster 7, you're not allowed to collect signatures at a U.S. post office. And he's always constantly under investigation, or if he does an investigation, it's a botched investigation on other officers, right? And they just had a shooting there that was questionable as well. And then there's the Chief Booth, who no longer is chief. I went by the Heber City Police Department. You walk in the front doors, this is like $1 billion building, right? This is architecture well over, you know, a budget for a police station. It's a nice looking police station. Probably nicer than any police station I've ever been in. If you get a chance, stop by, walk in. As soon as you walk through the front doors, look to the left and you'll see a plaque for Chief Booth. What a wonderful guy he was. You know, and the mayor there. I don't know. Heber City, Wasatch County, you guys got a problem. Governor Cox recommended and was supporting of Sheriff Rigby becoming police officer standards and training up at Point of the Mountain when it was out there, right? And KSL, I think it's KSL, Fox, Adam Herberts, that's his name. Fox News, Utah. You know, he just did a report. I drove by and I couldn't stop. I had things to do, but I seen Adam Herberts out front of the county building and doing a report. They did a closed door session on public comment because they didn't, you know, this investigation into Sheriff Rigby has, they closed down public comment because the investigation into Sheriff Rigby is now under investigation, right? So it's an ongoing investigation. The wording of it probably a little twisted there, but he can't comment because he's under investigation. He's under investigation, this is Rigby, because he asked another sheriff to do the investigation. So he gets to pick who does the investigation on him, right? And Governor Cox wanted this sheriff who seems to always know how to play the game to get away with, you know, abuse or whatnot, or help someone else get away with it. He's definitely a good old boy, in my opinion, right? Definitely in my opinion, he's a good old boy. And it stinks of corruption all the way to the top. Governor Cox sitting there saying, hey, yeah, I think he should be in charge of police officer standards and training over the state of Utah. Meanwhile, he's rife with investigation after investigation after investigation. They're all on the same team, and I don't think they have Utah's best interest in mind. I think they're rigging a system to be beneficial towards themselves. I don't think it's just one person, okay? I don't think it's Governor Cox is the only corrupt politician in Utah, or Deidre Henderson, or Sheriff Rigby, or Chief Booth. The list goes on. Utah's got to get to the bottom of it. Adam Herberts from Utah, Fox 13, he's on to something here. And he seems to get what he needs. Former Sheriff Bonner, outstanding guy, outstanding sheriff. I really liked him. And when Adam Herberts did his little piece, I seen the back of Sheriff Bonner's head, and I knew exactly who it was. And not because I've been an inmate there either, but because I've seen Sheriff Bonner before, and we miss having him as a sheriff. So you got to give credit where credit's due. There are good officers out there, and we need more of them. We don't need any more of Rigby's, those guys. We don't need any more Governor Cox. They need to go the wayside. They need to be investigated, you know. Even down to the flag initiative back a year ago about now. It's March, Flag Day. Sunday is Flag Day. And today is Friday. So Friday, Saturday, Sunday on Flag Day. And they're waving the new Utah flag. I have spoke personally with Senator Dan McKay face-to-face on this flag issue, and I have expressed my disappointment in the fact he changed the flag. And I'm starting to have my opinions that, you know, Senator McKay didn't have any ill intent on this. I don't know that he did, right? I don't like the fact he changed the Utah flag, the state flag. And when he did this, he is a businessman. This is my opinion, okay? He is a businessman. He knows how to get people's attention on Utah. He wants to bring money into Utah, and I believe that's his goal. That was his intent, okay? This is not verbatim. This is not a quote. This is just my opinion as to what I had with conversation with him. On the other hand, Governor Cox, he has an agenda that is much darker and deeper than we realize. And you know, if you look at things from an objective lens, from my objective lens, Cox has a political agenda. He's very leftist, way left of center, more of a socialist, Marxist kind of a mindset, and they're rigging it so that they benefit from everything that happens. For instance, like in the town of Vineyard, now I'm not implicating Cox in any of this because I don't know, but in the town of Vineyard, the mayor there rigs it so that they have all the authority and all the power. Anybody they put into a position there gets all the power, but if you're an elected official, you have very little power, right? And it's, you know, I don't know how to explain it all, but where I'm going with this is they wanted to build a city in the middle of Utah Lake, okay? And they're going to dredge up the bottom of the lake, and they're going to build this utopia for all the wealthy and all important people that they see as important in Utah, and use taxpayer-funded money from the city of Vineyard to do it. Well, they come up with the money, and they, out of thin air, Utah legislators create out of thin air a company, a construction company to build this city, right? And it just so happened the city didn't exist until, you know, the company didn't exist until they knew that they were going to be able to build this city in the middle of Utah Lake, and then this company just matriculates out of nowhere. And who is it owned by but Utah politicians? You know, my wording may not have been perfect, but the end result is Utah politicians create a construction company to build a city in the middle of Utah Lake at the taxpayer-funded corruption. It stinks of Washington, D.C. kind of a thing with the U.S. aid, where it looks good on paper, people are making lots of money, but you and I pay for it, and we pay for them to get rich. That's it. And they're using us as a slush fund. Like, share, subscribe, and comment, and please give us an email down below. All right, Americana Press out.